Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome, Curious Minds. It's Thursday, July 24, 2025, and once again, you've given us quite a stack of interesting stuff, articles, notes, research. Our job, like always, is to unpack it all, pull out those key bits of knowledge, and help you get really well informed without, getting totally swamped.
That's right. And today, we're connecting some really significant dots, I think. We'll be looking at how artificial intelligence isn't just this high-level policy thing, government and international relations, but also how it's actually changing things for you every day, like big national plans on one hand and how you shop online on the other. It's quite the spectrum.
Exactly. So settle in. We've got a fair bit to explore, connecting those really ambitious national goals with the practical tools showing up right on your phone. Okay, so let's dig into this first set of sources you gave us. They really focus on the Trump administration's recently released AI action plan. And this isn't just some brief memo, right? It's a full 23-page document. Sets out a pretty bold vision, global AI dominance for America. And the core idea seems pretty clear. Build, baby, build. It really signals they want AI companies moving fast as possible.
Yeah, and what's really striking, I think, is how much the plan seems to, defer to the private sector, empower them, really. Your sources point out these deep ties between the administration and the big tech players, OpenAI, NVIDIA, Meta, Google, Microsoft. And there's even specific mention of this private thing called the Stargate project. That's a huge team up. OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank. And they're not just talking about a little infrastructure. We're talking hundreds of billions. Oracle and OpenAI specifically are looking at building like 4.5 gigawatts of data center capacity. I mean, just to give you a sense of that scale, it's enough power for maybe a few million homes. So it shows the massive industrial scale they're thinking about for AI. It really does feel like Silicon Valley handed Washington their wish list, and well, here it is.
Wow, 4.5 gigawatts. That's huge. And this whole plan is built around three main ideas, or pillars as they call them. Boosting AI innovation, building out more AI infrastructure, and promoting American AI around the world. And it seems like deregulation is a really big part of how they want to achieve that.
Oh, absolutely. The White House proposals for cutting back on what they call onerous regulations and bureaucratic red tape, they're pretty sweeping. Yeah. And if you look at the details you shared, these aren't just symbolic things. They have teeth.
Exactly. Like the plan talks about reviewing investigations from the Biden-era FTC. Anything seen as, quote, unduly burdening AI innovation.
Oh.
But it goes further, right? Suggesting maybe cutting federal AI funding to states if their regulations are seen as unfriendly to AI. So if a state wants, say, tough third-party audits for AI tech, they might lose funding.
That seems to be the implication. It puts a lot of pressure on states to, create a friendlier climate for these AI companies.
And this deregulation push, it even touches areas you might not expect, like environmental rules.
Yeah, that's a really interesting and maybe controversial part. AI data centers, as we know, use enormous amounts of water and electricity. It's a big sustainability question. But this AI action plan, it kind of just waves away a lot of those environmental worries. It suggests streamlining, maybe even cutting back on environmental rules, possibly including things like Clean Air and Clean Water Act standards, just to build faster. And critics, as your sources note, are really jumping on this, calling it a fossil fuel subsidy in disguise, especially when you see predictions that data center electricity use might triple by 2028. So it really forces you to ask, what are the long-term costs here? What are we trading for this speed? It's a real tension.
That's a huge point, the trade-offs. And it kind of leads to what seems like the core philosophy here, this idea of a dynamic try-first culture for AI. What does that mean exactly? Build it first, test it out.
Pretty much. Build it, deploy it, let it iterate quickly, and then figure out the usefulness or the risks down the line. And they want it used everywhere. Science, healthcare, farming, government services.
And the military, too, you mentioned.
Very notably, yes. The Pentagon's already announced these big contracts, up to $200 million each, with OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, xAI. So, yeah.
So it's not just theoretical. It's happening now.
It's happening. The implementation is definitely underway.
And you mentioned the industry influence earlier. How clear is that link between what companies wanted and what's in the plan?
Oh, it's incredibly clear. Recommendations from companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Microsoft, they really seem to line up almost exactly with what's in the final document. Things like, categorical exclusions from environmental reviews for AI projects,
Right.
limits on what states can regulate, creating these sandboxes for startups to just test things freely without much oversight initially. It's a pretty stark example of industry recommendations becoming policy.
Okay, and then there's the whole intellectual property angle.
Yeah.
That's a massive fight right now.
Huge.
President Trump's position, according to the sources, is that training AI on copyrighted stuff, books, articles, art, music, should basically be fair use.
Yeah, his argument is it's like how humans learn, right? By taking in lots of information.
Which is exactly what companies like OpenAI and Microsoft are arguing for.
Yeah.
Especially with, over 40 lawsuits filed against AI firms since 2022 about this?
Precisely. This could totally reshape copyright law as we know it if that view prevails.
So, okay, speed and innovation sound good, but what are the potential downsides experts are pointing out?
Well, the big concern is safety and trust. Critics are saying this whole approach is sidestepping safety precautions that sustain public trust, rushing ahead without enough guardrails. And there's also this potential irony or paradox, right? The administration has cut some research funding, and there are still visa issues for foreign scientists. And these foreign scientists make up like 70% of AI grad students in the U.S., a huge number.
70%, wow.
So the worry is, by restricting talent and maybe underfunding basic research, we could actually be hurting our own competitiveness in the long run. Some critics are even calling it self-inflicted ignorance, basically shooting ourselves in the foot while trying to race ahead.
And there's another layer too, right? Specific directives about ideological bias.
Yes, that's in there too. The plan recommends federal buying guidelines should make sure the government only uses AI models that are, quote, free from top-down ideological bias. And it mentions a potential executive order to get rid of woke Marxist lunacy from AI.
What?
And also to remove terms like misinformation, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and climate change from the government's AI risk management frameworks. So it introduces a very specific political viewpoint into how government AI should be assessed and used.
So putting it all together, what's the big picture takeaway for someone listening?
Well, I think it paints a really clear picture of an aggressive push for AI dominance, a really aggressive one, with a huge emphasis on deregulation, letting the private sector lead, and speed above almost all else. And it really does highlight this tension, doesn't it, between that drive for innovation, the economic promise, and then the worries about safety, ethics, the environment, and even making sure we have the talent we need. Your sources sum it up by saying it puts the nation's AI future in Silicon Valley's hands. That feels pretty accurate based on the plan.
That's a really helpful summary of the big picture strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears completely now. From that huge national policy stage, let's zoom way down to something much more personal, your online shopping. Because our sources also talk about Google launching some pretty interesting new AI shopping features. And the headline grabber seems to be this virtual try-on tool for clothes. It's apparently available across the US now.
Yeah, this is pretty neat, actually. What's really interesting is how personal it gets. It's not just seeing clothes on standard models anymore. You can actually upload a photo of yourself, a full-length one. And the AI then shows you how that specific item might look on your body shape. Google says their AI understands, the human body, how clothes drape, how different fabrics fold or stretch on different people. Think about that. It could seriously change how you decide what to buy online. Makes it feel much more tangible, maybe more confident.
That sounds like a game changer. I mean, potentially fewer returns because something just doesn't fit right. That's a big hassle for everyone.
Exactly. Less waste, less frustration.
And speaking of making better choices, they've also apparently rolled out smarter price alerts.
Right. So instead of just getting an alert when any price drops, you can set it for very specific things, like only tell me if this shirt in blue, size medium, drops below $30. Much more control.
Okay, that is smarter. It finds the deals you actually care about.
Precisely. Tailoring the deals to your actual needs, not just blasting generic sales at you.
So these tools, they're part of a bigger push from Google.
Yeah, it seems like it's all part of Google expanding its AI mode. The goal seems to be making web browsing, especially shopping, easier, faster, and helping you save money or find exactly the right thing. Your sources even mention something coming this fall, AI-powered style inspiration.
Oh, like what?
Well, not just for clothes, but offering ideas for whole outfits, or even room designs using their vision technology. So you could maybe upload a picture of, say, a couch you like, and the AI suggests coordinating decor, that kind of thing.
That's pretty futuristic. And then there's this other app they launched, Doffel.
Yeah, that one's interesting. It's described as experimental, a standalone app. And it takes that virtual try-on idea even further. You can upload pictures of outfits from almost anywhere.
Like a photo from a thrift store or a screenshot from Instagram.
Exactly, and visualize it on your digital self. And apparently, it can even turn those static images into little AI-generated videos of you wearing the outfit.
Whoa.
So it really starts to blur the lines between just seeing something cool, imagining it on yourself, and maybe deciding to buy it or something like it.
So for the person shopping online, what's the bottom line here? What does this all mean?
Well, on one level, these tools are definitely designed to make your shopping easier, more informed, hopefully less wasteful, fewer returns. But maybe think about the other side too. For online businesses, this means having really high-quality product photos is going to be even more crucial. Pricing needs to be sharp, dynamic maybe, and being optimized for visual people searching with images, not just words, that's going to be huge. It really pushes retailers to up their game in this AI-enhanced world. Maybe even forces physical stores to think about how they compete with this kind of personalization online.
So quite a journey today. We've gone from these huge, sweeping national ambitions about winning a global AI race, involving massive policy changes, big controversies, all the way down to these very immediate, practical tools that are changing how you might pick out a shirt online.
It really does show how interconnected it all is, doesn't it? AI influencing everything from, national security and economics, down to your shopping cart. And those big decisions being made at the government level about infrastructure, about regulation, they're going to shape the very technology that powers these consumer tools we're just starting to see. It just highlights how deeply technology is weaving itself into, pretty much every part of life now.
Absolutely. And as AI keeps developing so quickly, integrating into government, into our daily lives, it really leaves us with a big question, I think. What's the right balance? How do you think we should weigh that relentless drive for innovation against the need for public safety, for ethical guidelines, and also protecting our individual privacy in this new landscape? It's something we'll all be grappling with more and more. Thank you for joining us as we explored your sources today. We really hope you found these insights valuable, maybe give you something to think about. Till next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.